Good evening, welcome to Rehab Talk Radio. I'm Chris and Kovaj, hanging out with
co-host Chris.
Yep. And we got our guest tonight, Elle.
Howdy.
There we go. Now, Elle is a green lanyard. He is 33? 34?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And he is, we were just discussing that he is head of the finance committee.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the fitness committee, and he is on maintenance committee, but not the head anymore, which...
Yeah, he's also my mentor, and he used to be head of the kitchen cleanup.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Now you're telling us that you came here from Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
and you had a choice between...
Here and Arizona.
Here in Arizona, and you chose Reno, Nevada. And right when you were telling us why you chose Reno, Nevada,
Jobs.
there were just more abundant jobs.
Yeah, and
here.
it seemed like rent was cheap.
So it was cheap. It was cheaper rent than Phoenix, plus the jobs were here. So it hadn't had to do with really the weather or anything like
No.
that. Oh, okay.
No, I prefer the weather of the Midwest.
When you move from probably your green scenery and you head on through to like the desert, it's a huge culture shock. It was for me. I'm pretty sure you imagine that.
Yeah, I miss the thunderstorms, threats of tornadoes, lightning, hail, rain.
Missouri gets tornadoes?
Yeah,
I had absolutely no
it's
idea.
right in the middle of Tornado Alley.
Wow.
Tornado Alley stretches all the way from, I believe it's North Dakota, down to Texas.
Isn't
And
it part
it
of-
kind of expands out, I think, to Colorado, Nebraska, you know, like the whole central area, all the way down.
Tornado Alley?
Yep.
Is that it? So it's a
Mhm.
part of Tornado Alley.
hmm
For some reason, I thought it was way further east. See, the furthest east I've ever been was Texas.
Missouri is north of Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was way east coast.
No, it's Missouri.
Anyway, you can get through there by either airline
Yeah.
or city. Yeah. So your story, your personal. Now I personally know your religious background a little bit, and we'll just let you go ahead and run with it on your story and see where it goes from there. So basically, how you got here, a little bit about you, stuff like that.
What's your motivation? Stay clean.
What got me here was shady family. You know, they didn't like my drug use either. I don't really give a shit, but
How much of you guys moved over here? How much of your family came with?
me, my mom, my dad, my son, and my uncle. Oh, and my wife.
In one car?
No.
Oh. I had to ask.
3.
3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you got it was a group decision.
Yeah. Oh, and my cat.
Okay. Which cat's name?
It was Coco.
Coco?
Yep, he's no longer here. He died.
Oh, okay. Continue.
Yep.
Came here from Reno in 3 cars, packed the family, headed on down.
Spent almost 6 years out at Pet. Did various jobs there. Kind of fell off the bandwagon. Relationship that I thought was going to be great. Well, after years of her leaving and coming back, it ended for the last time. Didn't help me keeping a job. It didn't kind of. It really demoralized me. Part of me is still lost. I'm never going to get that part back. The rest of me went when my cat died.
You know, was this like, would you consider her like the love of your life?
Yeah.
Somebody that's super important to you?
Yeah.
Okay, now were you on any type of drinking or substance at that time, or did that start later?
Towards the end.
Toward the end?
Yeah. She knew about the coke. She was fine with it.
Oh, like so you just did coke like on a casual basis?
No, I did coke every day.
Oh well, that's. then
But I got
further
super
back.
cheap. I was putting in a lot of overtime. So, you know, I still only spent maybe $80 a week on it.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit further. When did you start spending the $80 on it? Was it when you guys were
Together, yeah.
still together?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I started before we lived together. She still knew about it, but
She was okay with it.
yeah. And then when we were living together, she was still okay with it.
I'm assuming she didn't use?
No. No, she was supposed to do something with me on my birthday, and, well, she was pregnant, so that went out the window. That was a bummer.
Hey, kudos for her, though, for not doing it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's something to do. So, we get to the point where you guys have been together. She knows about your usage.
Yep.
She's okay with it. You guys move in together.
Mm-hmm.
You live together for a little while.
Yeah, about 6 months.
6 months. That's why so brief?
Things just took a big turn south.
Just a thing for the South. Okay.
Yeah, they went to shit pretty quick.
I understand.
There's a lot of trust issues that had arose, and then she was still trying to do shit behind my back, and it just pissed me off.
Okay.
Feel free to pass on any questions, but do you have a kid?
Yeah, actually, I've got 2.
Okay.
One here, and then one lives in California with her. Haven't met that one.
Yeah.
Nope. Probably never will, but...
Well, I don't know. Statistics say that children come to find their parents more often than not.
That's provided that she even actually tells our kid about me. I don't really expect her to.
Oh, well, she knows that a stork didn't drop you off, so I think that you're okay there. I think that she'll...
Yeah, well, her mom has a way of lying really well. So she'll probably spin some story.
Well, lucky for us, you got technology nowadays, so... That's okay.
True.
So we're up past the point where you guys break up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were in...
I was still here in Reno.
So you're here in Reno?
Yep. Jumped job to job for a while. Started on dope shortly after we split. Then after...
I gotta stop you, but there's 2 different kinds of dope that we were
Meth.
explaining. Okay, there's old people dope, which is weed, and then there's what normal people call dope, which is meth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Normal people dope.
Okay, normal people dope. Got it.
After my cat died in 2018, I started using every single day for long periods of time, and probably 4 or 5 days a week, on top of working like 12 to 15-hour days without sleeping. And I was pretty miserable at that point, which is why I refused to run out unless I absolutely had to.
Now, I've talked to people that have had like experiences with staying up too late for extreme long periods of time, that have done way too much. That they say that even people that have done like stuff like LSD or mushrooms, anything like that, like on an overdose type of level. Would you say that you've done that? And would you say that there have been any type of long-term effects from it? Because I have talked to people, including myself. I can't look up at a clear blue sky even to this day because of all the acid that I take.
You talk to yourself?
All the time. All the time. I talk to this phone. This phone's my best friend.
No, I never really experienced any long-term effects. I had one auditory hallucination once, shortly after I first started, within like a few months. Because I had been on a really good run. I'd been up for 12 days straight.
That's very normal to be having auditory and visual hallucinations if you've been up for 12 days straight.
Yeah. I only had one, and then I'm like, nope, I'm going to sleep.
Good God, El. What's wrong with you? It's too long. Take a nap, for God's sake.
I did that night.
What brought you to here? We just call it rehab here.
Needing help getting back on my feet.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, there's 2 types of ways to come in, if you don't mind me asking. You can come in by choice, or you can come in by police force.
Kind of both. I chose here specifically, but I am court ordered to transitional living for 6 months.
It's actually pretty interesting. Why'd you decide to come here as opposed to another place like the 30 to 90 day ones? There's definitely more privilege in some cases.
See, I originally thought I was going to get to do the one of the 30-day ones. The person that interviewed me for the court, she recommended I do 6 months of transitional living, somewhere, so I needed longer term. I was originally going to go to Salvation Army, but their rules, after seeing them, it just didn't sit right, and I'm not a God person anyway, so that didn't sit right with me either. So I backed out of that, even though I was accepted. So the lady that interviewed me for my assessment for court, she wrote down on the paper, and one day when I got out of court, I'm like, I look at my phone, and oh, you know, this is right down the street, essentially. I didn't know it was slightly closer. One of my friends was there. He graduated 2 months ago, I think. Yeah, so I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'll go to this place, check it out. One of the ladies was telling me about this rehab. I talked to one of the guys that was here at the time that worked over that way, and it just seemed like the better one.
So did you attend a detox or a 30-day before you came?
Nope.
How do you feel that helped or hurt? Was coming straight here? What
No, I
worked for you?
mean, I was out, well, in the hills for 3 weeks before I came here. So, 30-day detox.
Okay. So
But
you
yeah, I
kind of
didn't.
self-detoxed it.
Yeah.
Okay. Out in the hills. You sound like the hillside lives or something. Were you living out there?
Yeah.
State
Oh,
land.
okay. You didn't
Yeah.
you didn't
No.
just grab a bunch of wood and like
No.
a fire starter and go like, oh, Bear Grylls on me.
No.
Okay.
The mountain required too much of a walk, otherwise I would have did
Yeah,
that.
it is. Okay, so you decided you were gonna go ahead and come here, and you've been here for
Since March 11th.
March 11th.
Mhm.
So it's almost
Yeah.
5 months now.
Yeah.
So okay, good for you. I made green in that time. Definitely got nominated for Dude of the Month.
Yep.
Got involved in quite a few committees.
Yeah.
Helped out committees. Collaborated with other committees.
Yep.
Yep. Now we've recently gotten a new a new head is how we're putting it. A new head of the facility, and there's a lot of controversy around him. Now, if you could say a positive thing about our new head, what would that be?
He's a really cool dude, and, you know, he seems to be pretty straightforward. You know, still trying to determine, you know, it comes down to it if he'll throw you under the bus and not care, or how that's going to work.
Well,
I don't think he will, but I'm also not getting a gut feeling, which is a deciding factor in pretty much everything for me.
right.
My instinct.
I can say from personal experience that I wouldn't be here without him right now. My case manager wanted me out, he kept me in. So he does care to a point.
Right.
You still gotta put in the work.
Yeah.
Shout out to the head for saving my
Yeah.
co sass there for a minute.
Mm.
I'm not asking for any type of any more controversy than already.
Right.
I only asked for the reason of because before he came here, we had a lot of debacle about structure.
Yeah.
And my basic question was, do you feel like a little bit of structure is coming?
Yeah,
out of
yeah, I
this?
think he's doing really good in that aspect. And I think having him here is really good overall.
Very pertinent.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to working closely with him to continue on, you know, and keeping me in line with, you know, what I need to do, and just like my old case manager.
With your program.
Yeah.
Keeping you with your
Yep.
program. Do you feel like he's helping you with that?
So far, yeah. I haven't met with him yet about anything really, but you know, I'm pretty sure if I was to like miss a PBT or something, that he would be like, well, hey, let me get to the bottom of this, let me go talk to him. And I think he would be probably more than fair, given how much I've grown here and accomplished. I think he would be pretty lenient, like, hey, you know, don't do this again for this month or whatever.
Well, he's also been through what we've been through, which
Yeah.
also kind of connects him a little bit
Yeah.
more solid with us, because
Right.
he's a self-admitted,
Yep.
and he's ended up actually coming really far in the food chain. He's grown
Yeah.
up there, Dad. So definite kudos to the head. You know who you are. So when you're not workaholicing around here and collaborating and getting with basically the powers that be here, what kind of stuff do you like to do for fun on your leisure time while you're here?
Watch my phone, one of the guys turned me on to an app called Coco Fun.
Now what?
It's
now you told me this right before the show. What is this thing that you keep talking about?
you get on there
Like
and
TikTok?
it, yes and no. It has videos like TikTok, but it just shows you a bunch of random stuff from like all across the spectrum. A lot of funny content on there that people post. It's a really good app. It's way better than TikTok. I encourage everybody to download it. It's less me focused and more about everything else. It's something that people can post on that has nothing to do with them. It's just like random funny videos or memes that you see online.
Well, I know that there are programs out there like YouTube or whatever that use like program algorithms of what you're interested in to
Yeah,
try and
this
filter that,
probably
to bring
does.
that around to you. Does it do that?
I think so.
Okay.
You can like, save, download, whole 9 yards.
Another guy named T at the house was showing me, and hilarious. It was this picture of this guy, and he was a kung fu master, and this little kid that was a white belt, and it said, "No matter what the size, you got to give it all you got." And the next picture, it shows this kid getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, there's stuff like that on there. I go for more of the videos. Right now, just in having it, maybe 48 hours, I have already saved and liked at least 260-ish videos and things.
Oh, I know. I've probably seen half of them.
Not even.
Yes, like, my man, you like to do this thing where you come up to somebody and say, "Check this out,"
Yep.
and they go, "That's great." And you say, "Check out the next 35 of them," and I'm good. I'm gonna kill you.
Yep.
There's always that guy in the group. You're that guy.
Yeah, every time I get on that app, I spend at least a good 45 minutes to an hour or more just watching shit that I've already saved or looking at new stuff.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. I had the whole bed set, the wallpaper, the pillow, the stuffed animals, everything. I hear you're still a fan.
Yep. So apparently there's a new collection of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles called the Cowabunga Collection.
Now, from what you told me, you said that they may or may not have the old game on there, the original.
Yes, it
Are we
is.
talking the Nintendo version?
Yes, it has. So the collection apparently has 13, and it's probably as many games as there was.
You're definitely an avid gamer.
Yes.
You'd say that's one of your favorite pastimes?
Yep. Huge on Destiny 1 and 2, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and Elden Ring, Ace Combat, Forza Horizon.
I have never heard of any of these games that you're talking about.
Are these
I'm the
adventure
dinosaur.
games?
Good question.
And Assassin's Creed. Fallout 76 is another good game.
You get into it.
I am level.
You're into
It's
it.
been forever since I played. I do plan on going back once I'm out of here. Fighting robots is very cool.
I got you. Now, is this it doesn't matter if you're sober or using.
Yeah, that's what I do either way.
Either way, you got a circle of friends.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And are they supportive of you being here?
Yeah. They're supportive of me either way.
That's good to have that support.
Yeah,
You guys have a lot of
they're
commonality.
actual friends. They're what I call my family because my family sucks.
I'm surprised to hear that more often than not around here.
The friends that I interact with a lot outside of here, we all support each other and don't care what the other one does as long as, we're alive at the end of the day.
There you go.
And if shit was to ever hit the fan and one of us needed someone to throw down in any situation, we're going to be there even if we think, oh, well, we're all going to die.
So it's you have a
Yep.
loyal support system.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that we've had this conversation a million times that aside from video games and TikTok, well, Coco Fun, sorry. Coco Fun, which I gotta check out. You're also into cars a lot.
Yes.
Now that was a lot of basis for our conversation because I'm into old muscle cars. You're into the rice rockets.
I'm into pretty much anything with an engine almost.
Okay, so would you roll around in a Scion?
God, no.
Did you attend that muscle car show we just had around here?
No, not really. I did go to one at Bonanza. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I have been to that one. For those of you that don't know, every August we have this event. It's called August Nights. It's when muscle cars from all over pretty much the whole country come into town and they show off their muscle cars. It started out very small decades ago and it's just grown into what it was. So that's pretty much what we're talking about. Bonanza has a Hot August Nights, which it's a very, very exclusive group of people. At least it was 15 years ago when I went. It wasn't very many cars. How many do they have now? They had maybe a couple of dozen when I went, but that was 15 years ago.
Oh, well, pretty much every space in the entire parking lot was full, except for the front 2 rows. They're really nice cars. New Corvettes, trucks, old cars.
Okay.
A little bit of everything.
But everything, I would say that you wouldn't find a whole lot of like 73 Malibus there. I mean, we're talking like a not average car kind of thing.
No,
It's very
no.
exclusive.
Yeah, a little rare on some of the cars
Okay.
than what come to Hot August Nights.
Now, this casino that you're talking about, isn't it still the same casino as it was?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm noticing there's casinos around town that have not changed one bit. There's others that have completely changed.
They've got new machines in there, but otherwise it's pretty much the same as it was when I first went there, which was 5-6 years ago. The only thing that's changed is some newer games. And Bald Weenies probably has been the same forever. I know it's the same as it was when I went to it 10 years ago.
And Gold Dust West.
I've only been to that one to cash a paycheck.
That's just ruthless. You can cash a paycheck at a casino.
It is ruthless. That's almost dirty.
Just spend the whole thing right there.
But my understanding, casino is technically a bank, which is weird.
Right. Are you
It's
a gambler?
I enjoy it once in a while.
Yeah.
I've got no problem losing, $40 here and there.
That's healthy. That's okay.
I try to minimize it. I've had my moments.
So you haven't like put on the rent like on the line
No.
or anything like that?
God, no.
I remember we were talking about, was it 2 weeks ago with Kevin outside?
Yeah.
It was me, you, and Kevin. We were talking about paranormal stuff.
Yes.
Now, I remember you'd gone into quite a few things paranormal. What's your favorite subject you'd have to say about paranormal?
Oh,
Because I'm into it too.
I don't know. I really like activity.
Like areas and places that have
Yeah.
had, like known like crop circles, stuff like that.
Not so much crop circles because I'm pretty sure it's just people doing those. But like devil worshipping grounds, haunted houses,
Yes.
things that are possessed.
Cult-like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a cult like.
I remember that you had said that you wanted to have a seance or whatever.
Yes.
And in the basement. And we actually, are we still on for that?
Yes.
Because we made that.
Yes,
deal
when I
about a
get
month
my
ago.
check, I'm going to probably go down to Dollar Tree since it's somewhat close. I might have somebody just take me to Walmart so I can get some non-Jesus candles.
Okay, now,
Otherwise, the Jesus stuff is going to have to come off those candles.
Okay, so you're obviously not Christian.
No.
I mean,
I was raised
I've gathered that
Christian.
much.
When I became a teenager, I started just taking a look at things. I've always been very curious, and I like to think logical and fact-based. And there's too much that's been that, seems like it's something a human would say to try and scare people. All religion was made for was to control people that scare easily.
Okay, logic. To basically corral,
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
yeah. Because how do you get people to behave in a way you want without openly controlling them, where they'll rebel against? Oh well, you're going to go to hell if you don't do this.
Well, we do that here on Earth too.
Yeah.
Crime and punishment.
Yeah.
You do this and we'll spank you.
But yeah, so I started like wondering and then thinking about things, and it's like, well, this don't make no sense.
Now, in my understanding, you read a book.
Yes, a few books.
It's about one in particular, but it's now explain that to me. Is it a book on the same king? It's all based around
A lot
the
of
same
it
religion.
is
Well, anti-religion.
based around King Solomon and
That's
his dealings with spirits and demons, princes and kings, and other ranks of demons.
So it's based around kind of an antichrist sort of scenario or an anti-God sort of scenario.
Kind of, yes. It's focuses more on spirituality and the spirit side of things. Also, a little bit multi-dimensional.
Multi-dimensional creatures.
Yes, like demons.
Well, what if they're they're alien, right? Would they be aliens?
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't specifically say, but, it just breaks it down as spirits and demons. Could be potentially alien. I think that's where some stories of the Bible came from. Like, oh, so-and-so descended from heaven in a chariot from the sky that was on fire. Well, what's the space shuttle do when it's entering our atmosphere? Which back then probably would have been considered a chariot.
Could have been. You see them in religious paintings.
Yes.
You'll see in the background they have all kinds of interesting stuff.
And,
alien little would-be flying saucers, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And there's also paintings from I think it's 13th century Germany of these objects having a fight in the sky. Obviously we couldn't fly then, so.
So you're more under the impression aliens are like a spiritual demon than a celestial being from another planet.
Well, aliens, I think, it could be both.
Mixing the two.
Yeah. I mean, if you're that advanced, why can't you travel to other dimensions?
Well said.
Pretty sure we was put here by aliens, lab experiment perhaps, or we had resources that someone wanted and they're like, well, hey, let's make these things, and then, it went the opposite way of what they wanted.
It's interesting you're mentioning that the mass sighting in Germany.
Yes, Nuremberg.
A bunch of people saying exactly what you're saying, is that they had black objects were fighting in the sky.
Yep.
And various shapes, actually. It says emerged and darted around the sky at dawn. And April 14th is when it supposedly happened, between 4 and 5 a.m. So this is the kind of things that you study? Would you say you study these?
Yeah, anything that involves space or jinn, demons, things of myth, it interests me greatly.
So I noticed that, we had that conversation. Skinwalker Ranch was mentioned.
Yes, it's in Utah.
Well, what was your interest in the beginning with Skinwalker Ranch?
I mean, it's named Skinwalker Ranch, so of course, you gotta check it out. There's a series about it on Amazon Prime. It's a really good series, actually, and it touches base on a lot of things that happen there. I was actually watching video last night, I believe it was, from the 3rd season, and they brought in some special equipment on a drone, and it showed portals opening up and stuff coming through that, we can't see, but the equipment on the drone could. And, they'd stay open for long periods of time. Sometimes balls of light would come through, or flying objects.
Okay.
Or things would disappear, like cattle.
And mutilations.
Yes,
I understand.
there's a lot of cattle mutilations that go on there. And cattle just dying in general, that they're perfectly healthy and then they die of some weird cause. That's not disease.
Just seemingly out of nowhere.
Yeah. Overnight.
They also, I'd read a little bit about it, and it said that there's also a beast with red eyes.
Yeah. They looked for it. I don't believe they found it yet.
But I understand they found tracks.
Yes. They were pretty weird too.
Pretty weird and huge. It looked like an oversized dog track.
Yeah, kind of like what you would expect a werewolf track to look like. Yeah, a lot of weird stuff goes on there. It's a place I want to visit.
So you'd want to be there.
Yes.
You'd want to experience it firsthand.
Yes.
Now my Facebook page, I've got a picture of myself, and it's me doing like the pinky out and the thumb up at the black mailbox out there in Rachel, Nevada, or by Area 51. And I'd gone by there, and it was the whole time. What you do is you go off the freeway, and then you got Joshua Tree National Forest, and then past that is like just probably 20 miles of just dirt road. And then they stop you, and it's just this gate. It's got some weird electronic thing on the left-hand side, which is obviously made for your vehicle. If you try to pass it, it looks dangerous as hell, like it'll fry you.
It's probably a camera.
Who knows? It's something gnarly. And then we got there, and the whole time that I was going there, we felt like we were being watched severely. It's very eerie. And yeah, we got there, and then a white truck had come out of pretty much the Area 51 site, parked on top of a hill, and just stayed there and watched us. Like, just that was it. Now, from my understanding, they have a thing called Whack and Hut security, which is a private security for the Air Force out there. So we freaked out. My dog tried to go over to the fence. I'm like, no, like slow motion, trying to grab at my little poor chihuahua. Grab my dog, and it specifically says no cameras, no drones, no nothing. Very high security, kind of eerie place. So.
Yeah, you know, people think aliens are at Area 51. That's not where they're at. I have it on very good authority that they are not there. That is just a secret. It's a testing place for super secret aircraft. The SR-71 and F-117 both took off from Area 51. They both were developed there.
Why wouldn't they just acknowledge it then?
Because they want to distract people from other sites that are around there that they might stumble across that's not necessarily marked. Just very well hidden, because I don't think people overall, especially religion, anybody that follows religion, I don't think they would take to aliens and finding out that they exist very well. I think they would be like, oh, let's kill them before they kill us.
Right. So you think it's going to be like an Independence Day sort of war scenario?
That's probably what it would turn into.
Huh. So you want to go to Skinwalker Ranch, and I believe that's in Utah.
Yes, somewhere in Utah.
Yeah, you better be careful, because from what I understand, they have a lot of security there now. The guy that bought it, I guess he'd seen something there, wealthy guy, and saw something there, ended up buying the place.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird lights and stuff seen by people around that area involving that. Obviously, they think the beast with the red eyes is probably a skinwalker. I also have it from a very reliable source that over on the east coast, up in like Michigan, around the Canada border, that the government deploys black ops units on special ops missions to keep things that people don't think exist, Sasquatch or things of that nature. They get sent out very heavily armed with no paper trail about the mission to keep things like that from getting out in the public the best that they can. Also, to partly keep, people around that area safe.
Do you think Bigfoot's real?
Yes.
I think it's real. They have a huge thing in Washington about Bigfoot. You would know, Chris, you lived in Washington. I lived in Washington.
Lots of forest.
Oh, yeah. And then around the Seattle area, you hear a lot of stories.
On acid, I talked to Bigfoot in the woods.
But yeah, I mean, it's not that far-fetched for something like Bigfoot to exist. I mean, essentially all it is a big-ass ape that walks upright.
There's very weird stories if you look into it. I had come across a thing called Missing 411, The Hunted. And it talks about hunters that have disappeared. And more often than not in those cases, there's a guy, his name's David Politis, that discovers a Can-Am project that's completely on YouTube, totally free. And he talks about all the time that people will talk about seeing a Bigfoot-like creature, but there's somehow aliens are involved too, like it's their pet or something in some weird kind of way, shape, or form. Which
it could be.
I thought was really interesting. Creep me out when I'm walking down the road going to work, and Washington at 4 in the morning, but I think I can't put anything past reality. I mean, it always continues to surprise me. Nonetheless, we'll have to keep that seance in check there and see if we can come up with it.
Yeah, it'll be, we'll shoot for next weekend. Obviously that weekend I'll be gone at work, but we could do it like that Sunday or, Thursday of the following week, something.
Okay.
You guys are gonna do that in this house?
Yes. I'm also going to order a Ouija board.
I'm not participating just in case.
I understand.
I'm
I
a believer, but
understand.
I'm not gonna test it.
You can call me off my rocker. I don't know, just curiosity, and I got the whole YOLO thing when it comes to that. So
I've lived in a lot of haunted houses. Seen a lot of videos on stuff like that.
But have you ever experienced anything?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Seen an apparition? Did you conversate? Did it scare the hell out of you?
Conversate, no. When I was a real little kid, I saw a shadow person, I guess. It looked like a normal shadow, but we just moved into this house, and I was laying there trying to go to bed, and my nightlight was lighting up part of the room, and I saw a human-shaped shadow dart in between boxes.
Well, I'll tell you what, if that ever happened to me, I'd be screaming my head off immediately after
I
that.
ran over and was like, "Oh, there's nobody here."
Oh, you wanted to go play with it?
Yeah, I wanted. I thought it was somebody.
I know the night my grandpa died, we had one of those old big phones on the wall.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click,
Oh,
click,
the
click.
one that, is it like the winder
Yeah,
one that
it is.
you put up to your ear and you
Yep,
talk
there
into
you
the
go.
wall?
It was an antique one and it was his.
Wow.
And the night he died, that thing blew off the wall.
It blew off
Yeah,
the wall.
20 feet across the kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah, so that doesn't just happen.
Not unless you got a huge wind gust, I'm pretty sure you'd have noticed a window open at that point.
Well, I guess on a final note, aliens are in space, but what about us going to the moon again? Do you think we were ever there before? Are we going to find the
Yeah.
flag spray painted?
No, I believe we were there. I think there's a reason why NASA probably didn't want to go back.
Well, we did have that. They were gonna do the test launch, but they had like an engine. I think it was engine number
Engine
3
failing.
failed,
Yeah.
and they had to replace the engine, so it's delayed for 2 weeks.
Oh,
To my
on
understanding.
Artemis 1,
Postponed.
the new launch.
I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't check into what happened with that, but I'm watching that closely.
Is that a manned flight?
Yes, pretty sure.
So plans for the future, Larry.
So as a final thought, where do you plan to go in the future? What are your goals, expectations, dreams?
Get a better paying job.
Like, which would be your dream job within grasp?
I don't know, something that makes a lot of money and is easy.
Oh, well, hell, you find that, let me know. I'll sign right up.
Yeah, get a better paying job, somewhere around $20 an hour range, give or take. Build some race cars, probably get some speeding tickets.
I love that that's in your hopes and dreams. That's a part of the goal. That's awesome.
It's big dream.
Mine too, because that means I'll have a hell of a great car.
Yeah, buying shit tons of guns. In video games, catching up on video games, and conversing with demons.
I'll do one seance with you. That's about all I said.
I'm sleeping in the parking lot across the street.
No, you're not. You're gonna sleep in the basement with the demons. Anyway, guys, that's about all the time we got for tonight. I hope you enjoyed. It was our guest Del with my co-host Chris, as always. Guys, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. And until next time, guys, enjoy.